Santa Barbara and do some laboratory work on.
Okay, and so Graham, how many people were with you in the field when you were doing your research?
For the last 5 weeks, there were 3 of us. John was out there with us for the first couple of weeks. So there were 4 of us in this small little camp. We had 2 tents to sleep in and 1 tent to cook in. But it was just the 3 of us for the last 5 weeks, and we didn't see another single human being except for helicopter pilots when they brought us some extra supplies.
So can you guys imagine that? Living in a tent for 2 months, not seeing, you get to only see 2 other people the entire 2 months. And maybe the occasional person that drives past in their helicopter. But no one, there's no towns, no villages, no shops. And basically you have everything that you need out there and you have to survive pretty much by yourself. Okay? So it's a pretty interesting and pretty different place to do research. So Graham, is there anything else you'd like to add about what you've been doing for the last 2 months?
Yeah. I guess as I said, we were doing some mapping out there. So we had some photographs that were taken from airplanes as well as topographic maps. And I'm sorry, there's a forklift going by. Just a moment, it's noisy.
Traffic, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so we've been working on compiling our map. So far it's all on paper, but when we get back to Santa Barbara, we'll be digitizing it or making a map on a computer. And the next thing is to export all of our samples. We have about 30 boxes full of rocks. Each weighs nearly 100 pounds, so nearly 3,000 pounds of rocks that we're going to bring back to California to do some lab work on.
Okay, thank you. Do any of you guys have any questions for Graham? Anything you'd like to know about what Graham's been doing in Antarctica?
Either about Antarctica or geology or what life is like.
Around 3,000 pounds of rocks. Bring 3,000 pounds of rocks back on a ship to Port Hueneme, and in about April they'll arrive at Santa Barbara. So they put them on a ship. So Graham, the ship is at McMurdo now. You can see the ship in the harbour.
No, actually, I was just told this morning that the ship is not here. I guess they were making their way across the Pacific Ocean from California, and they failed some inspection, and they're going back to California. So I think that our samples will be flown in by airplane.
So 3,000 pounds of rocks are going to be flown all the way to America on an airplane, which seems like quite an expensive thing to do, but the rocks there are very, very interesting. So have you guys got any other questions for Graham?
Is rocks only?
They don't have to be. The questions don't have to be about rocks either. You can ask me questions about Antarctica or life on the base. Anything.
Anything you want?
What was your question?
Are rocks the only things they're studying?
So are rocks the only things you're studying, Graham? Have you found anything else while you were in the field?
Casually. Yeah, so we were mostly focused on the rocks, but we were also interested in other things. I don't know if you showed in the picture, John, but we found that the mummified seal out there. So even though we're not biologists, we are still kind of interested in that. So Brian and I were coming up with some hypotheses of how it would have made it out there. Mostly studying the rocks.
And did you see any animals? Did you see any wildlife? Was there any grass, trees, bushes?
No. In fact, I don't think there are any animals that live that far inland. There are some microorganisms, so organisms like bacteria that live under rocks where there's a little bit of moisture. And there's also some lichen, some different kinds of lichen on some of the rocks. But other than that, there's almost no life. It's very dry and very cold. There's not much liquid water, which of course, organisms need to survive.
So 2 months living in a tent, lots of ice, lots of rocks, but no green. So can you imagine going outside and there being no green? Either rocks or dirt or ice. So that's pretty different from here, right? And there's no rain. It basically, how often did it snow, Graham? Probably snowed every...
It snowed quite a bit. I think we got more snow than they usually get out there. I think that it snowed 3 or 4 times, and each time anywhere between 1 and 3 inches. And that actually made it kind of hard to work sometimes because all of the rocks get covered up with snow. But when the wind picks up to nearly 50 miles per hour, it tends to blow all the snow off the rocks.
And so what about the daylight? Did it get dark there when you were down there?
Can you repeat that question, please, John?
Sorry, did it get dark when you were down there? So could you go to sleep at night when it was nice and dark, or is it not?
No, not at all. In fact, it's kind of hard to sleep. Yeah, the sun is up 24 hours a day here. I think you'd have to check, John, but I think the first time that it set is in March.
I think the very beginning of March.
Maybe it's in February.
Yeah, the very end of February,
But the
beginning of
sun
March.
is. Oh, okay. Yeah, the sun does seem like it's getting low. So the shortest day of the year was, I think, about 4 weeks ago. I think like December 20th or sometime around then. That was the well, I guess the longest day down here in the southern hemisphere. Your shortest day of the year up in the northern hemisphere. But the sun has seemed to start to get low. It's light 24 hours a day. It's kind of hard to sleep. We have to cover our eyes with parts of our clothing or something so that we can get to sleep.
So you guys can imagine that? No nighttime. When I go to bed 11 o'clock at night, no moon, no darkness. It's all just like it is out there now. Lots of sun. And so it's pretty difficult to sleep. So as Graham said, it can be pretty difficult to actually get to sleep because basically it's just like the middle of the day. So pretty interesting to try and maintain a normal rhythm. You have a question?
What do they eat?
So you hear that, Graham?
Yeah.
What do you guys eat?
Sorry,
What
can
do
you
you
repeat the question for me?
what did you eat?
Oh. We ate lots and lots of chocolate and lots of butter.
Chocolate and butter.
We because it's so cold out here, we burn lots and lots of calories, so we need to eat a lot of food that's high in energy. Even though we're eating, 2 or 3 chocolate bars every single day, we still lost a lot of weight.
So what would you eat on a typical? Could you tell us what you would eat on a typical day? Could you just give us a brief idea of the kind of food that you would eat and how much you would eat?
Yeah. Brian and I, in the mornings, we would usually eat 2 packets of instant oatmeal with a bunch of nuts and raisins and dried fruits mixed in. We can only really bring out dried food because we need so much food and dehydrated food weighs much less. So a couple of packs of oatmeal as well as a few pieces of toast with butter and jam and honey. And then for lunch, we would have cheese, crackers, many granola bars. I think I ate at least 3 or 4 granola bars every day for lunch, as well as a bar of chocolate. And that kind of warms you up when you're out in the field, believe it or not. When you eat high energy food that's got a lot of sugar and fat in it, your body really warms up quickly because you're burning all of the energy in the food. And